Hi, welcome to Genesis Rescue Systems' fourth live cut. This is getting the most of your combination tool. Sorry for the 10-minute delay. We had a couple of technical difficulties getting Facebook Live up and running, but we are here now. My name is Gary Klaus. With me today is Kat Van Scoik. Kat is a firefighter in New Carlisle, Ohio. She's been there for about almost 8 years now. Chief Trustee, just so you know, she told me that she was going to become battalion chief by next Tuesday, if not sooner, so just be careful. She's gunning for your job. Also, just so you guys know, Kat is scared to death. This is her first time on camera, so if things go south just a little bit, that's just going to happen. Okay, so let's talk about combination tools. By the way, if you haven't gone back and checked the first couple of videos that we did, one was reading the rec, one was cutters, one was spreaders. Now we're going to move into combination tools, and then we'll have another one coming up on rams, just how to operate your rams. So let's talk about combination tools just a little bit. Combination tools are 80% tools. They're going to do 80% of what you need, but they're limited to their spread ability and their cut ability. Depending on the type of tool that you have, there are multiple different configurations of combination tools. We have 5 different ones available, and each one is a little bit different. We start with an 11-inch spread, a 14-inch spread, a 15, a 17, and also the big boy, which is a 19. Keep in mind that an 11-inch combi tool will not do what a 19-inch combi tool will do. The cutting forces are different, the spreading distances are a lot different. This will not cut the B-post on a Subaru. This will in a heartbeat, but that's why there's different size vehicles for different size applications. When you choose a combi tool, you really want to kind of size that combi tool, not only to your budget, but what your department is going to do. What is your response area? What type of vehicles do you have running through your response area? Combi tools are really nice to pair with something like a mechanical ram or a ram at the very bottom of the picture there. Rams give you that extra ability to push and spread. So when we talk about combi tools themselves, there are different types of combi tools. This one, this one, this one, and this one all have removable tips. You can actually take the tip off and make it a straight blade cutter. The 14-inch has a fixed tip. Most of the combination tools that are out there that people have purchased over the past couple of years have a fixed tip. The only issue that you have with a fixed tip combination tool is when that material gathers in, because these spreader tips are pushing it together, you will not be able to cut any further. So it's nice most of the time to have removable tips to make it a straight blade operation. These are just a couple of things that you want to look for. You also want to look for the ergonomics of the tool. Can your firefighters handle something that's this big? Now when you talk about a 19-inch combination tool, it's up in the 56, 57 pound range. Now it does also have the F7 cutter rating, and if you're not familiar with that, we're going to link to a page in probably about a week or so about the NFPA cutter ratings and how to gauge what tools you have as far as the ratings go. The smaller you get, the lighter weight the tool is going to be, but it will also diminish your cutter ratings. Now one thing that you also want to keep in mind is that a combination tool doesn't hook and pull in towards the center where your ultimate cutting forces are. Straight blade cutters will always back their tool out just a little bit as they're cutting. And Kat and I are going to show you a couple of techniques as to how to get some really good spread and cutting ability out of your combination tool, since the whole name of getting the most out of your tool. So the biggest thing that you want to know is how much spread do you have on a combination tool? And here's why. So when you talk about spreading ability, come on in this way, RJ. So if you look from here to here, we've got about 15 inches. So a 15-inch combi tool is not going to do you any good if you're trying to spread here. Now, if you adjust where your combi tool goes to here, where we've only got 10 inches, it may be a little bit better for you to make that initial spread for your purchase points. The same on the front of the car. A crush down is a very effective way to get a nice big gap towards our nadir pin so we can start getting that door off of the nadir pin. But with a combi tool, you may be better off coming more towards the front. You're still going to get some gap, but it won't be as enormous as naturally a standard cutter and spreader. So that's why we're saying combi tools are 80% tools. They're limited to their spread distance and their cutting ability. For today, we're going to have Kat use the 15-inch combi tool. So let's go ahead and grab that 15 if you would. So, figure out what operation you're going to do with your Combi Tool. Is your Combi Tool going to be used to spread initially, or is it going to be used to cut initially? Dependent on that, that's going to determine how your cutter sits, or your Combi Tool sits in its proper position. Right now, if you take a look at Cat, we know we're going to spread. The spreader tips are completely closed, and that's exactly what we're looking for, because that gives us the ultimate gripping surface of the spreader tips themselves. If the first operation the Cat was going to do would be a cutting operation, then I would expect her to have those blades all the way open so she can get her cutter in very, very efficiently and effectively as deep as possible. Here's the nice part about it is Cat can stand here all day long, and this is something that your firefighters really need to practice. And as long as the tool they have, be it cutter, spreader, or Combi Tool, is in the ready-to-work position for the operation that they're going to do, which means spreader tips completely closed or cutters all the way open, she can stand just like so all day long, and she's never, ever, ever going to get tired. What a lot of people do is they will hold the cutter up. Would you be so kind? Now, if I keep talking for the next 10 or 15 minutes, she's going to get tired, and that's not just Cat, that's any firefighter out there. So as long as your tool is in the ready-to-work position, go ahead and drop it right back down again, she'll stay fresh for a long time and ready to go. The other thing that you want to keep in mind is depending on the tool that you have, and this goes for cutter, spreader, combi, whatever it may be, you also want to make use of your body position in relation to the vehicle itself. Holding a tool like this makes you really, really tired. Okay, especially if you have females on the department. What you want to do is learn to use the body mechanics to get that tool up and where you need it to be very quickly and efficiently, and then the car will take the weight of the tool. Okay, would you be so kind to demonstrate? So if you take a look, as we lift up with the handle, we push down on the back, and then we immediately get the tips onto the car. Now there's virtually no weight on Cat whatsoever because the car takes the entire weight of the tool, and that's what we're shooting for. We want to make it as easy as comfortable for the rescuer to stay fresh for a long time. So, let's take a look at our opening. Oh, by the way, if you guys want to see how we got the car in this condition, just keep watch of the website and the YouTube videos. You're going to see a really, really cool new toy that only Genesis has. You're going to love this thing. So, when we talk about making our initial purchase points, Kat, I'm going to have you come to the back side here. RJ, I'm going to have you come around this way. Right, get the tool on the other side of you. Perfect. And I'm going to have you come right up into here. Now watch the way Cat rolls this tool efficiently and effectively to get it in a position. Okay? Simple and easy. Her hand is in the proper operational position. All she's got to do is flick that tool on, and now we're going to slowly walk it up. I'm going to have you move in just a hair. Go ahead and start to make your spread. Good. Stop right there. So if we take a look, like we talked about on the spreader angle, what we're trying to do is get the proper angle to make the spread efficient and effective. We've got the top tip that catches the interior of the roof line and the bottom tip that catches the interior of the trim itself. We're trying to get as much gap as possible so we can get down to that nadir pin. All right, you come on around the back and let's see what we got. So, give me a little bit more of a spread if you would. Go ahead. Good. And now we're maxed out. So you can see how we've got a nice big bite right here that we can start working on. We've made good contact up here and good contact on the bottom. All right, Kat, go ahead and close her up. I'm going to have you get on the other side of the tool. Perfect. Just like so. And then we're going to bring you right up into here. You're going to come just like so. So, watch our spreader angle. Go ahead and give me a push. And stop. Close up. All the way close. Drop down. All the way close. There we go. Good. Hit it. Stop right there. All right, you come on and take a shot right here. So you see that we're getting a really, really nice gap here. Okay, the car has the weight of the tool. We're using as much of the spreader tip as possible effectively, but we're not driving it in as deep as possible. Go ahead and close that up. We're going to come here. Go ahead. Stop right there. Just let her go for a second. You can see that the tool is actually so embedded that it's really not going to move at all. You don't have to grip the weight of this tool the entire time. She just wants to make sure that she has control, so if the tool comes out or falls down or whatever, it's not going to fall onto her and she's not going to throw herself sideways. You can see how her body position is such where the knees are bent just a little bit. If the tool shifts left or right, it's not going to bother her and she's not going to get thrown off. The key when you're using an extrication tool is do not hold that tool on your body itself. And I'm sure some of you guys know exactly what I'm talking about, where you start doing a little skip back because the tool has a bite of you and it's pushing you in the opposite direction. Okay? This tool is going to move all day long and there's nothing you're going to do to stop it. So let's take a look. So we got a pretty decent bite right here. Let's see what's going to happen. Go ahead and close her all the way up. Okay, give me a push right here. Go. Just like that. Now, really all we've done is make a couple of different spreads, make a little initial spread, get in there tighter, drop your spreader tips on the Combi tool in a little bit deeper and nicer. We want to get as much surface contact area of that spreader and get our spreader or Combi tool at the right degree to use the car efficiently and effectively to our advantage. So let's take a look at what we have inside here. Okay. Different types of cars are going to have naturally different types of hinges. The hinge you have depends on how efficient and effective your cutter is going to be. Trying to get any combination tool into this right now is going to be extremely difficult because the tips of the combination tool, and it doesn't matter whose you have, are too wide to get in there efficiently and effectively. Now, can you do a two-door rip and blitz on a car with a combination tool? Technically you can. It's a lot more difficult to do than when you have a separate cutter and a spreader, but it is possible. Just be advised that you're going to have to take a couple of more steps. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody. And by the way, if you have any questions, go ahead and throw them on to the chat at Facebook Live, and if we get any questions, somebody will pop it up and ask me to respond to your question. So you can see how easily we moved that completely out of the way. And I'm just going to shift this just a little bit, and I'm going to bring Kat around the front here. So, come on over, RJ. Come close. I loves me some RJ. He just doesn't come with. So take a look at the gap that we have right here. Now, some people absolutely love to take the front hinges first, and not that that's necessarily wrong. It's dependent on the car and the patient in the position that you find them. I'm a real big take the hinges last because I like to leave that to my advantage as much as possible. I want to use all that swing to my advantage. If I cut the hinges first, again, in my opinion and what I found, then sometimes it's a lot harder to take the tour off the nadir pin because I have no back pressure and it kind of kicks all over the place. But we're just going to talk about using the front of the car to make a crush down also. So Kat, I'm going to have you do the same thing here, and we're going to kind of watch the gap here and see if we can get the hinges. Okay? There you go. Just like so. Nice and easy. Little down and go. Stop. So you guys can see how we're angling out just a little bit. That's going to be Kat's cue to come down here a little bit tighter. Just close her up and slide her down. Thank you. All right, let's see this. Go ahead and give me another little spread there. And stop right there. Stay right where you're at. So let's take a look. Very often when people are using a spreader, either a Combi tool or a spreader itself, you'll start to see that gap open. So what's happening is our spreader tip is catching the outside steel, and you can see it's just a little bit of glue that holds that on. And they'll continue to push thinking, hey, I'm really moving metal. The problem is we're not getting the metal that we need to move, which is down into here. You can also see that we're starting to tear here. Once you start to tear, the effectiveness of what you're doing is pretty much non-existent because the steel will continue to tear in the easiest spot, not necessarily making it efficient nor effective for us to do what we need to do. And in this instance, it's going to be to try to get to those. So Kat, I'm going to have you close up and adjust your angle a little bit. Okay, so take a look. You can see how our gap is here. Now here's where Kat needs to get a little bit creative. Dylan, grab this for me if you would for just a second. Hold on, wait a minute. Dylan's new, but that's all right. Come on up here, Dylan. So now I'm gonna have you bring your spreader and you're gonna kind of flip it over just a little bit. We're gonna get some of this crap out of the way, all right?
Okay.
There you go. Angle over just a hair. Gonna come like so. Go ahead. Out of the way. So see how we missed? That's okay. So let's come right up in here, adjust your angle, and stop, close up. Go. Close up. Go. And stop right there. All right, Dylan, let me have that. Super. So you can see that literally we made about 4 or 5 little kind of partial openings and got in there a little bit tighter. And a lot of times with a combination tool, that's what you're going to do because you're limited to your spread distance. So if we had to, we'd want to get down there a little bit tighter to see if we can get this door to pop. Go ahead and close her up. I'm just going to have you push her in a little bit more. There you go. Just like so. Take a bite. Nope, right where you had it.
Right there?
Yep. Keep going. Keep going. Stop right there. So again, take a look at our angle, right? The key when you're using a combination tool is keep going until the operation is complete or you see something that's not quite going right. So, what did you just see? Glass in there pop. Even with the impaction on this vehicle, you want to make sure that you're taking a look in there for glass. Now, we knew that glass was there. We knew it was going to pop. Actually, I told Kat, and I said, try not to cry when the glass breaks, but it does happen. So if you guys take a look, okay, we now have a little bit of angle down here that we can see where our nadir pin is. Now, the question is, and each one's going to be a little bit different dependent on the impact of the crash that you have in front of you. Do I come down a little bit tighter and get the bottom hinge also? Or do I come back here and get the nadir pin? Each one's going to be a little bit different. Now, if you take a look here, we can probably work this to our advantage and then come back and get the hinge later. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So go ahead and close her up, Kat. And we're going to bring you right into here. Perfect. Flip yourself around, and we're going to start right in on there. Okay, start up high. Give it a push. And stop, close up. Oh, come to this side. Okay.
Right there.
Dylan, grab that for me, would you please? We're going to bring you up just a little bit, like so. Go ahead, get it off your hip. And stop one more time. Close her up. There you go. Go. So, let me grab my trusty little flashlight. So take a look. Now you can see how the spreader is now going down towards the passenger compartment, right? It's not going in, it's not intruding, but that's the point that we want to catch right there, right? You see that our window frame is still intact right here, and sometimes those window frames can be a little bit of a bear. So here's what we're going to do. Close her up, open her all the way up, and cut that window frame for me. Way down low, way down low. There you go. Good. Open her up. Got one more bite we got to make in there. So we're a little bit shy on the cut. Let's go ahead and slide her in there one more time, as deep as you can get it. There you go. So see how we missed a little bit because you backed out?
Yeah.
Open her up one more time. There you go. So now, we can either cut this piece off, which we're going to do, open her all the way up, get all the way right into that bend, go. Alrighty. Now we're going to come right up into here and we're going to adjust our angle. All right, Kat. So now you're going to come into here, get yourself on the back side of the spreader, or sorry, Combi Tool. And we're going to come in like so. Now, adjust over, but you're going to roll this all the way your way. All right?
Just like that.
Just like so. There you go. Good.
Close it up.
Close her up. Now we're going to have you do the same thing. You're going to come into here, push all that stuff out of the way, and then we're going to get to that bottom hinge.
Right there?
Yep. Keep going. Good. Now you're just going to get tucked right down in there. Phil, will you grab me my battery cable cutters there? So, come up high. Okay. There you go. Let's see. No, I don't want this. Thanks. So come just like so. Give a spread down. Go ahead. So, see how we missed just there? Because our angle was just a little bit off. So let's go ahead and close her out. And this happens all the time. Thank you, sir. So now, we're going to adjust over like so. Go ahead. Missed again. So what do you think's happening? We got a little too much crap in the way right here, right? So we're going to try this one more time. Close her up. All the way closed. Now, go like so. Just give it a push. Good. Stop right there. Close her up. Now, let's go right there. There you go. Pop.
Yep.
Okay. So. What? Oh, kill the light. All right. So what did we just learn? Okay. Everybody tries to put a tool in one time and try to make everything move. It really doesn't happen in a true extrication. You have to be ready to move that tool, okay? What we did right here was use our top hinge as an anchor point to push the garbage steel out of the way very, very quickly, and then we were able to get down to where we needed to be. Remember that a loose piece of sheet steel, fenders, doors, exterior doors, whatever it may be, is always going to wiggle and waggle. It's going to flop all over the place. Find yourself a good anchor point, adjust the angle of the spread portion of what you're doing, and then everything gets a whole lot better. Now, we're going to move this out of the way. So we've already opened that back. Now we have two hinges here that we can work with, and we've got a nice big opening. So the question is always, top of the hinge, then bottom of the hinge, bottom of the hinge, then top of the hinge. Each one's going to be a little bit different, again, depending on the scenario. Me personally, I like to pop the bottom of the bottom hinge first and then take the top of the top hinge off. And here's the reasoning behind that. If I push the bottom out, my top hinge is going to act as my pivot point. The door is going to lift itself up in the air. But I won't be forcing the door down into the ground, because if I start at the top, my bottom becomes my pivot point. The door will roll itself down into the ground and a lot of times lift itself right off of your stability or your stabilization points, and I'm sure you guys have all seen that. If your spreader pops, the car does not float gently back down to earth. It comes out very, very violently. It's usually a big bang. And remember, we're trying to keep this patient as calm as humanly possible. So, let's see. Let me have that, Dylan. Thank you, sir. So I'm gonna have Kat come in here. Kat's gonna make sure she's on the outside of the car, because you always put the tool between you and the car. And we're gonna try to get this bottom hinge. Okay, go below the bottom hinge, give it a push out of the way. Good, a little bit more. Now, angle your outside tip up just a little bit. Oh, so, take a watch.
Like that?
There you go, so see how Kat's standing? Stay right where you're at. And this is what most people will do. They put themselves in a position of comfort. And it happens all the time. You gotta be able to get the spreader where you need it to be properly. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have you, okay, come down like so. Now make your spread. Stop, close up. Now go right on top of it. Okay, you probably have to do it twice to get a good bite. Go ahead. And stop. So you guys take a look. We've already got that popped. And it's all because we adjusted our spreader angle. Instead of standing like this, where the door is not going to go where we want it, We literally drop the bottom of the tool down to come up at this angle and push the door up. Now we've got a tight gap right here. So let's go ahead and close your spreader up. There you go. Use the hinges. Nope, you're gonna come on top of the hinge. But for right now, hold on a second. We're gonna position you, just put it right here to right here, slight upward angle on the outside arm. There you go, go. And stop. Now go to the top. Push. And stop. Close. And go slightly downward. Go. Off your hip. Keep going, don't stop. And I'm gonna have you close up and get one more bite a little bit tighter in there. There you go, go. There you go, good. Now, if you guys take a look, don't believe yet, we've still got that door keeper right down in there. So we're gonna have you come right into here, right above the door keeper, and push that door keeper out, okay? There you go. Perfect. Now, while you got it open, wait, don't close it. Put it right in there and cut that wire. But change your angle, get it in as deep as you can. Deep, 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 deep. There you go. Perfect. All right, let's fix this. There you go. Thank you, sir. All right, I'm gonna have you come right back here. So, come on in, RJ. So, let's take a look. And yes, this is the entire compensation for the entire crew for this live event. So, hopefully we'll go to the penny candy store. So, take a look at where our dashboard is, okay? Now, if you're going to roll a dashboard with a combination tool, you want to make sure that you're weakening the structure to your advantage as much as possible. You can see from here, right? I've got a somewhat decent place. This would probably one of those places, if you had a long enough spreader and you were off to the side, you may want to try no relief cut dash lift. Again, I'm not a big fan of them. The key to a no relief cut dash lift is, if you're going to try that, make sure your team is starting those relief cuts as you're trying it. What we don't want to do is waste this patient's time because I'm giving something a shot, but I'm not getting the next step in the puzzle, right? Just like a structure fire. You always want to make sure ventilation and attack crew is working at the exact same time. Extrication is the same thing. Don't wait to see if one thing is working perfectly before you're already planning plan A, plan B, plan C. Most departments are supposed to have A, B, C, D. What we really have is plan A harder, plan A, no shit, I'm really gonna get plan A this time, and then we just get pissed and throw whatever we can at the car itself. That's not what we're trying to do. As professional firefighters and rescuers, we want to make sure we know the way our tools operate, how they operate best, and what we can and cannot do with them. So if I know I want to roll the dash up, I know that one of the things that I'm going to have to do is make some type of relief cut in my A-post. This is where having the cutters, or the Combi tools, that you can take the tips off become really nice, as long as you have a nice big bite on there. The other thing that you want to watch for is, can I make a relief cut here? Now, depending on the impact, you may or may not have the ability to make a relief cut. If you can, should we? Absolutely, right? We want to give that steel somewhere to go. If you push against a vehicle without giving it somewhere to go, what happens is the impact and the construction of the vehicle dictates where the steel is going to go. Even though you want it to go in this direction, it may cave right in on your passenger compartment or on your patient itself, because that's the way the impact is forcing that steel to go. So we want to try to act on that as much as possible, okay? So we're going to try to make some type of relief cut down here, and we're definitely going to make a relief cut up here. Now, when you're cutting an A-post with any type of cutter or combi tool, you want to make sure that your cutter or combi tool is coming in from the top. If you come down low, you run the risk of a lot of glass dust getting into the lubrication between your cutter blades. This, for all intents and purposes, is sand. When you put sand between lubrication, eventually it becomes very, very difficult. So now we're going to have Kat come up and we're going to make a relief cut right up into here. Open her all the way up. Good. Come right on that crease line. I'm going to have you come up just a hair, right up there, and start to make your cut. So, RJ, come on in and take a look. So, anytime you have a combination tool, and I don't care whose combination tool it is, As your cutter is cutting, it's going to walk backwards just a little bit because the plastic and the material of the vehicle are going to force it to come back. If it's really moving back a lot, the second it takes a bite, open your cutter back up and drive right into the same teeth marks. You'll have a better bite position lower down in your blade, which will give you more length of the cut itself. Okay, let's go ahead and try that. Kat, open her up and just drop it right back down. There you go, good. And let's try again. Good, and you're free. Open her up. All right, so let's take a look. We've cut all the way through, which is exactly what we want. Now, if you have a bigger or a beefier post here, it may take a couple of cuts. You may have to come in from the top and then in from the bottom also. Keep in mind while you're doing that, you want to make sure those cuts meet and they line up. Just lazily throwing a combination tool onto any type of post, B, C, A, whatever it may be, if you just kind of lazily throw it in there, I'm going to wind up one cut here and one cut here and a piece of steel in the center that's virtually impossible. Not completely, but virtually impossible to get to efficiently and effectively. So when we make our first cut, we want to take a look if we know the dash is going to go this way, if we think this is going to jam up. If you think it's going to jam up, as long as we've checked behind here to make sure there's no cylinder that we're going to cut through, we would like to make one more cut up a little bit higher. You want to give it free range to move. If you just make one cut, when we go to make our spread, if this makes contact, it's going to bind itself up and we're going to lose the effectiveness of what we're doing. So Kat, come on up. We're going to make another cut right up into here. Just cut me right here. There you go. Take a bite. Go. Other way. Let it walk with you. There you go. Excellent. Open it up. So now we're going to take a look. Come on in, Dylan. So now we're going to take a look right here, okay? This may be a problem to get our combination tool or our cutter in there. So if we have to, we're going to cut all this crap out of the way. The other thing we want to look at is where does everything connect? How low can I go? Remember, you try not to cut through any type of hinge plate because there's backing plates behind there. Here is half of my relief cut made. Now for a smaller combination tool, it may be difficult to take a good bite on here. That's where your spreader tips come in. Kat, come on in. Open that spreader, open that up. Okay, and we're going to have you put your tips right there, not deep, right there, and squeeze. There you go. It's all right, take whatever you can get, or you got to readjust, come on over. There you go. Come down a little bit, good, go. Good, stop there, open her up. So now if you take a look, and I'm gonna have you back out just a hair, if you take a look at how tight we made that, right? We took that giant piece right there and we made it a whole lot smaller. So this is where, if someone's there working with Kat, what we would like to try is to take these removable tips off, take one nice deep bite into there, get ready to put the tips right back on again, and then see if we can get any type of lift off of this dash. So bring those up here for a sec. Okay, I'm gonna lift her up. You're gonna come like so. I'm gonna take these off. Okay, you're gonna stand up and you're gonna get ready to cut again. Open that cutter all the way up. Right where you just did it. So let's see how we take a bite. Go ahead. Good, and you're done. Open her up. Alrighty, let's come back here. We'll get these tips back on real quick. Oop, let's see, come on up here. Take that. Good, come back here. Yes, dropping things at a scene never, ever happens at a fire scene. All right, so now you're gonna close up a little bit. and we're going to come right here to right here and see if we get any dash lift whatsoever. Okay? Hold on. Nope. You're going to come like so. Okay? We're going to see if we can get any type of dash lift. Other way. Stop right there. So, did we get a lot? Not a whole lot, okay? But again, we've only got a 15-inch lift here, and we already started with about 11 inches out. So realistically, we're only gonna gain maybe 4 inches on that. Now, if we put a mechanical ram in there, we'll probably have a much better chance or a much better advantage to get that to lift up very, very nicely, okay? So let's see what we got there. All right, go ahead and close that up. Take it on out of there. Okay. Yep. So now, if we can get our mechanical ram into a decent spot, nope, not going to get a good bite there. I'm guessing we're not going to get a good bite anywhere on this one. Nope, don't have enough. So, this is where potentially a ram comes into play. Do we have anything on here that we can bite? Come on over, RJ, let's take a look. So did we get a little bit of space? Yeah, again, having a Sawzall is really nice to cut all this plastic crap out of your way. So did we get some space? I would say yes, we did. Did we make a tremendous amount of space? Well, that's kind of tough to say. Can we potentially reposition, or can we use our combination tool from here to here in conjunction with our ram to maybe get a little bit more distance? Let's try and find out. All right, Kat, bring your Combi Tool in. Open her up about 3-4 inches. You can come like so. Turn. Okay, keep going. Now let's see, I'm gonna have you go right up into there. Let's see if we get a bite. Nice and easy. And hold on. Let's see if we get anything. All right, so let's take a look. So, are we getting anything, or are we literally just rolling this down and in? For right now, we're just rolling it down and in. And these are the things that you're going to encounter in a real application. So if you take a look inside, we really didn't cut all the way through as much as we would have liked to. So can I potentially reposition my ram? Absolutely. Can I make an additional cut inside with my Sawzall? I can do that too. Is there anywhere here that I can get a better bite to come into? Okay, let's find out. Bend out of the way. Bend out of the way. So, we're going to do one more thing real quick. We're going to get some plastic garbage out of the way. So now, just by taking some little crap out of the way, I may have a better bite to use my ram in conjunction with try to get this dash up. More plastic crap, and one more bite. Let's see if I can get a good bite right there. You got a little bit more lift for me?
Yep. Nope.
Go, stop. Okay. Come on over, RJ. So did we make ourselves a little bit of lift? Yeah, we probably got about 6 inches of rise out of there. Was it extremely pretty? No, it wasn't pretty. There's no extrication scene in the world that's pretty. The key is to be efficient and effective with what you're doing. The other thing we would probably do is cut this entire centerpiece out, and that gives us more access to come out the side if we have to. Don't get stuck in one operation. Do 2 or 3 or 4 things, even if you can adjust over. Now, we always have people say, well, how are you supposed to do that if somebody's sitting there? You're gonna have to figure that out. But if I can get anything, a slight reposition sometimes makes all the difference in the world on if you get your patient out or not. Now, here's the interesting thing. Let's see when we take this ram back out, how much space we retain. Everybody worries that the second you take your spreader out or you take your ram out that it's going to slam back down on your patient's legs. That's not going to happen because we've displaced it past a certain point. So let's see what we lose. Really not much at all. Okay, Phil, how are we doing on time? So are we good to go? 50 minutes? Excellent. So we hope that you've enjoyed this, getting the most out of your combination tool. A couple little tips and tricks on what to do with it. Again, remember, when it makes that initial bite, don't be afraid to open up, slice in there a little bit deeper. Think about pairing a ram with your combination tool, depending on your budget and your department needs. I'd like to thank Kat for being my partner for today. Thank you guys all very much. Thanks for the whole round of crew. Do I have a question? Oh yeah, sorry. On whatever, where are we at? September 7th. If you tune in, it's going to be a Thursday instead of a Wednesday this time. Noon, we're going to do Ram It, which is going to be all about using your rams, do some cross ramming and how to use your rams efficiently and effectively. Any information that we can get for you or any comments you'd like to have, info@genesisrescuesystems.com. We certainly appreciate you watching. Stay safe.